Okay, we've got the headlight assembly off. Now it's time to go ahead and put it back on the bike. Bike just looks weird at the front end. It just looks weird. It looks like a Street Fighter. I don't like Street Fighters, but yeah, it just looks like the Street Fighter version. That's kind of funny. So let's go ahead and grab the headlight assembly and throw it back on. So we're basically going to just reverse the order of what we did when we took it off. Here are the four little pins I'm talking about here. It's like a screw pin. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They go into, so those 4 pins from the assembly go into these holes right here. 1, 2, 3. Right there, and 4. It actually just holds up the assembly itself once you do push it in there. It gives you time to put the screws on, get the cable situated, and then yeah, put the screws on and continue on. So let's go ahead and start reinstalling everything for the headlight assembly. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and grab our ram air box here. As you can see, the front end, there's like a little clip right there, which will go into the front right over here. That's the only thing actually holding that on there. So we're gonna go ahead and get those wires out of the way and just place it right on top of it. All right, we're gonna go ahead now, put our hand underneath all the wires, and we're gonna now slowly line up these pins with those bushings, with those rubber bushings. Okay, and we can grab the wires that were with the headlight assembly and pull them through because we'll need them obviously to reconnect everything. So we're gonna go ahead and pull them all the way to the top. And so there we go. And now we're ready to start reconnecting everything along with the bolts for the assembly. At this point, we just need to go around and just make sure that the wires are not being pinched by either the ram air box or by any other portions that we've just attached. That is where it needs to be. This wire is coming up to here, so that's good. It's not in the way. Nothing is being pinched in there. So that's good. We're gonna go ahead and check this side now. This side is a lot less wires. You only see the 2 wires coming from the daytime running lights, and then they come all the way up to the top right here. Now I know now you're looking at it and you're like, holy shit, look at all the wires everywhere. Now I get it. Don't worry. I'm gonna show you guys where all these go, and I'm gonna show you guys what connects to what and how the routing goes. So now that we made sure that the wires are not being pinched by anything, we're gonna go ahead and grab our 4 bolts. So we're gonna go ahead and put them into the places where we took them out from, which are these guys right here. So it's this black bolt with the black washer. Like so, it looks like a screw, looks like a bolt. It could be either or. Anyways, the Phillips head or the star head. And we're gonna go ahead and put the 4. We're gonna do 2 on each side, and that way we can secure the headlight assembly, not have to worry about it falling forward. All right, now that I've got all 4 in there, it's pretty snug as is, even just hand tight. We're gonna go around and just tighten them. It doesn't need to be reamed on. It's on rubber grommets for it to bounce around. Get all 4. We'll move on to the next step. It's on, it's nice. We are gonna have a bit of a wiggle up and down. That's going to be like that until we finish off putting back on the side panels and the upper cowling. So don't get alarmed or anything like that. We're okay. All right, let's start and putting the wires back where they need to go. We're gonna move the harness out of the way for a second. We're gonna move the harness out of the way for a second. So this white connector is from the daytime running lights, and this is from your headlights. They're gonna come out right over here. The white one's gonna come up to the top. The small black one, you're gonna come, and it's gonna come right to the front right here, like so. Now what we're gonna make sure is we're gonna pull the blue harness forward, and as I did that, one of the wires actually fell in there on its own. I'm gonna take the other wire and just push it and make sure that that holder is there, and that now it has both wires on that holder right there. Once we do that, we can push the harness forward, and now the holder is holding all those wires there as it did before. All right, so there we go. Now we're gonna move over to the other side, which is the right side of the bike. We're gonna come into this part right here. We're just gonna ignore this light for now, because again, that's my aftermarket signals. Move that out of the way. We're gonna have 2 wires coming off the daytime running light. So here, these are the 2 wires coming off this guy right here. We're gonna go ahead and take these 2 and we're gonna push them through that little hole right here. And we're gonna pull both of them. Both of them are gonna come right through right over here. Now, as you can see, the holder is right there. We're gonna actually go ahead and grab those 2 wires, and we're gonna push the 2 wires into the holder, so the holder is holding those 2 wires. And actually put them aside if you need to, just so they're out of the way. As we're doing other things, this guy can also come to the side. Again, just put it aside, just so we have more space to look at the other wires. All right, next step, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and make sure that the headlight connections, this one coming off the wire harness, the bigger one is coming off the wire harness, and the smaller one is, where's the small one? There's the smaller one. The smaller one is coming off the actual headlights themselves. That orientation right now, it looks good. So we're gonna go ahead and plug in the small one first, like so. We're gonna go ahead and put that down like that. Go ahead and push that in until you hear that click. There we go. Then we're gonna grab the bigger one, push that in. That click noise, there we go. So now you can see the orientation from those two wires right there coming out, and those two are done. Let's move on. We're going to ignore this guy. This guy is the signal light. As you can see, it comes all the way out to here to my aftermarket signals. The signal line will actually be hidden. From there, it's gonna come and we're gonna actually place it over here last. This is gonna be the last wire that we actually put in there. We can just ignore that one. What we're going to do is we're gonna grab this guy right here. You can actually see it's pretty well situated. It actually comes back to where it needs to go. So this is the intake air temperature sensor. We're gonna go ahead and clip that back on. All the way. Give it a little tug just to make sure it's in there. There we go. And then we're gonna grab this guy right over here with the blue connector, and this is going to be the atmospheric pressure sensor. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in as well. So we're gonna go pull it back. There we go. And that is in its place too. So we're gonna go ahead and come to this side now. As you can see, all the wiring is still good. No kinks or anything like that. Still in the wire holder. That's plugged in, that's plugged in. And now we're good for the next step. Now, next we're gonna grab our big guy right here, our meter assembly, and we're gonna plug this guy into the meter assembly like so. There you go, that's in. Now we're gonna take the boot and we're gonna make sure the boot is on there nice and snug as well. Push that all the way up. And that's the meter coupler right there. We're gonna grab this guy. So this guy right here will get connected to there, and this guy right here will get connected to there. But before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and connect these four together, 2 into 2. Honestly, you cannot mess these up. You cannot mess these up because again, these two cannot go into each other, and these two cannot go into each other. The right side is the female, the left side is the male. We're gonna go ahead and connect these two. There we go. As we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and patch it through. And now that is nice and secure where it needs to be. Then we're gonna grab this wire, bring it onto this side. This is the female, this is the male. Go ahead and connect these two. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and connect this guy at the bottom as well. There we go. See, we are now all connected on the front end, and the wires are nicely put away and where they need to be. If you do currently have the OEM signal lights, this can actually be pushed down. It'll actually come all the way down to here, and then it'll come around like so, and then continue on your signals on the mirrors from this side and that side. Okay, now that we've done all that, it's nice and snug. Again, we do have that little tiny bit of movement, but that will go away soon. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab these guys. These are the upper cowlings or upper fairing cowling, I don't know what you want to call them, but regardless, we're going to go ahead and put these guys right over here. You can actually just hook it on to there. That hooks on there, comes across to here, and then so we're going to grab the silver bolt. We're going to go ahead and get this guy on here, tighten that down, and this side is good. This side will still move around until you put the fairing back on. Let's go ahead and do the other side. All right, there we go. Let's move on to the next step. So at this point, we're actually gonna grab the 2 push pins, which we took out from the bottom, right over here, one there. We're gonna go ahead and push those back in. We're gonna put these push pins back into where they came from. And there we go. So that is connected now. On to the next step. All right, guys, at this point, we are now ready to grab the upper cowling and put the upper cowling right back in its place. So we're gonna go ahead and do that and then continue on. So, I mean, I guess you could technically do the 2 fairings. You can technically still do the 2 fairings, then come over here, do the upper cowling, and then the windshield. But let me get everything else together. Let me get everything together, put everything together, and we'll be back once I do so. Now, remember, guys, if you guys don't know how to do this, I haven't done it previously, I do have those videos on how to do every single one of those down in the description below.
A few moments later.
All right, everything is back on. We've got the upper cowling on, we got the windshield on with it. I've also put the 2 fairings back on, so boom, boom, that's there. Everything is on, and on a positive note, there's no more bolts left over. No more bolts left over. So that's a good thing. So that's definitely a good thing. Everything is back on. We are ready to go. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and until the next one.